Welcome to the Daily Podcast. My name is Michelle Sinclair, Divine Healer and Spiritual Teacher. Today, we are going to be talking about how you create your reality and the role of your thoughts and your heart in it. So, Christ taught that the heart is the center of creative power, and what is held in the heart radiates outward, forming the very fabric of a person's experience. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. That's Proverbs 23:7. So this means that a person's outer reality is a reflection of their inner convictions, not just thoughts, but their deep, unshakable beliefs that are held in the heart. They become living, breathing experiences. So let me give you an example of this. If man believes deeply that life is a struggle, he will unconsciously make choices that bring struggle into his experience because he believes in them. And if a woman believes that she's always divinely guided, she will notice synchronicities, protection, and effortless blessings appearing in her life. So these are all based on the belief and what they are creating in your reality. So if a person believes that they are heir to disease, then they open their body to that very experience. The electromagnetic energy of fear, or the expectation of illness and belief in decline or decay or disease, sends out a vibration that draws sickness into the body because it is an energetic match with that belief that is being sent out. So this is why entire generations suffer from the same ailments, not because of genetics alone, but because of the shared beliefs in hereditary disease. I have been witness to this personally with my clients. Let me give you an example of that. If someone has a disease and they are suffering, because people who are suffering, people who are in pain, they usually unconsciously are spreading this pain to other people. And so they will even say to a young child, that they're in pain. They're like, "Oh, you just wait till you get older, and this will happen to you." And because if a child sees his father suffering from a heart disease, and he deeply believes, "Oh, this runs in my family, so I'll have it too," his faith in the inevitability of disease sends energy into his cells that weakens his heart over time. Not because it is true that this was going to happen to him, but it is because of his belief that is in it. Now, if a person believes with unshakable conviction that their body is divinely designed to be whole, this faith sends healing energy into every single cell, because we are not solid, right? We are energetic particles. We are the energy that underlies our body. And the body's cells are intelligent, and they respond to belief, and they will align with the blueprint of health when there is no doubt that interferes. This is like the health of a tree, right? They don't complain, they don't send out fear, they don't anything. They just allow the divine flow, they allow the divine's work to work within them, and they don't have any doubt that the divine's perfect work is going to be done within them, and therefore they do not negate the perfect work that is being done within them. So, many people who reject society's belief in disease and focus only on divine health, they remain strong and vibrant and full of energy well into old age. How many articles do you see about this 107-year-old yoga instructor who looks like she's just freaking feeling fabulous, bending in all kinds of ways, and she's in perfect, total health? It is her belief. It is not just the yoga practice, but if she believes that it's the yoga practice, then it is the yoga practice, but it is her belief. If people have faith and vitality, their body will manifest it. And so Jesus demonstrated this when he healed the sick. He didn't fight any disease. He simply removed the false belief in the illness, allowing divine health to restore itself. This is how I work with my clients. When I take them into a subconscious state, this is what we are doing, is we are removing the false belief in the illness. That's what we're doing. Now, if a person believes that money is hard to earn or life is full of scarcity, then this belief shapes their experience, and they will unconsciously make choices that confirm their belief. They'll even pass up opportunities, blocking divine provision, and struggling unnecessarily. You know, a man raised in a family that believes only the rich get richer may unknowingly sabotage himself, keeping his financial situation limited. This is why you typically, not always, if you break these beliefs, but that you typically end up in the same financial situation as a parent, right? If you never went without, well, you're going to grow up, you're not going to do without because you don't believe in doing without. Whereas if you grew up and you didn't have certain things, well, you have a belief in that, and it's going to manifest again later on in your life until you heal it and realize it has only been belief that has brought this to you. If a person believes in divine provision and limitless abundance, then life opens doors for them. They will attract inspired ideas, supportive connections, and unexpected blessings because they believe in it and expect it. They do not strive in fear. They walk in faith, knowing that their needs are always met. Always met. Now, if a person believes that the world is dangerous or that people are untrustworthy and that suffering is inevitable, how many times do you freaking hear that? I hear that all the time. I hear this from, spiritual people who should not be talking in this way when they say, suffering is inevitable. And I'm like, what? Get that out of your mouth. Where are you getting that from? This is your past experience and you are recreating it again. You are putting your faith and your belief in that. Get it out, because these beliefs will attract experiences that confirm these beliefs, which is why then they have confirmed their beliefs again and they're like, see, I was right. No, you weren't right. Your beliefs were made manifest and this is what you were witness to. It does not mean that it is the truth of being. It does not mean that it is the law of the universe. You have control over this. People, they might see, let's say, betrayal or rejection or cruelty everywhere, not because the world is full of it, but because their faith in fear shapes what appears in their life. A woman who is hurt in past relationships might believe people always abandon me. And because of this belief, she unconsciously pushes people away or attracts a partner who repeats that same pattern. Now, if a person believes deeply that love and kindness and unity are truth, their life will reflect this. They will attract soul-aligned friendships, uplifting relationships, and experiences of deep joy. Someone who believes that I'm always surrounded by love will naturally find himself in loving communities and relationships no matter where he goes. Very often I will hear people say things and they say, oh, this always happens, or these things, and I'm just thinking, that has never happened in my life. And I can recognize every single thing, every single experience is belief. Now, if faith is the creative force behind everything we experience, then it's our responsibility to choose what we believe in with absolute care. Remove faith from anything that you don't want. Stop speaking about sickness. Stop speaking about lack. Stop speaking about fear. Do not entertain beliefs in limitation. Do not give energy to anything that you do not wish to see in your life. Meaning, don't think about it, don't speak about it, certainly don't share it with others. And the moment that a negative belief arises, replace it with the divine truth. I do not accept this. Only good exists in my life. And affirm what you wish to experience. Surround yourself with proof of the goodness. And hold your desired reality in your heart with unwavering conviction, because we know that the mind sends out ripples through our energetic frequency and it attracts things to us. But we know that the heart, through science, it's been proven now, is 5,000 times more powerful. 5,000 times more powerful. Everything in the universe consists of electromagnetic energy. So these are charged particles that respond to thought and intention. So before an event, a condition, or an experience manifests in the physical world, it exists first in an unformed, dormant state, pure energetic potential. What this is, it is perfect divine equilibrium. And it is sitting there, and it is waiting for energy to fill up that empty space that you see all around you, that scientists call it space because they don't know what it is. But what it is unformed, dormant state of pure energetic potential. That's what it is. And this energy remains unshaped until a force interacts with it. And that force is human thought. So let me give you an example of this. So just imagine a really still pond with no movement. And this represents the dormant energy waiting for a force to direct it. And the moment that you drop a thought into the pond, ripples begin to form. And these ripples set waves into motion, traveling outward and eventually creating real world effects. The stronger the thought, meaning the more belief, focus, and emotion behind it, the more powerful the ripples become. And as we talked about, a thought that is connected with the heart is 5,000 times stronger. So what kind of a ripple is that going to make in that pond? A really, really powerful one. This is by design, because your heart pulls you towards certain things, those things that you're passionate about. And the things that you are passionate about, you are meant to be passionate about. You are meant to send those out from your heart because they create these huge ripples, which attracts the means to be able to fulfill that passion in your life. So let's say that your passion is, running a retail store. And every time you think about it, you're like, oh, I just really want to do that. Oh, that would be so much fun. That feeling of, oh, this would be fun, that would be so good, is attached to your heart. And so every time that you think about it, you are sending out these massive ripples. It doesn't matter what it's about. Anything that is attached to your heart holds a really, really high frequency that is going to attract that thing to you. Thoughts are not just mental. They are the initial charge that sets invisible energy into motion, leading to manifestation. Electromagnetism governs how energy responds to thoughts. So thoughts create electrical impulses in the brain. And these impulses emit electromagnetic waves that radiate outward. Now, these waves interact with the unseen particles of reality, attracting or repelling similar frequencies. I'm telling you, nothing is solid under the sun. Nothing is solid. So some people, this happened to a friend of mine, her mom. She had a tumor, allegedly, in her arm, and they're like, oh, we gotta open you up, we gotta take it out, we gotta do surgery. And it was like, no, dude, man. So these people prayed about it. And then they go and they're like, okay, we're just gonna do another x-ray before surgery just to make sure, it's all good, see if it's grown. And they do an x-ray and it didn't exist anymore. It was completely gone. How can this happen just like this? How can it happen so quickly? It happens because we're energetic particles, and that nothing is solid, and you remove the belief in illness and sickness, and then you remove it from the body physically. Positive thoughts emit high frequency waves that attract positive outcomes, and negative thoughts emit low frequency waves that attract undesirable conditions. We're not just talking about positive and negative, though. We are talking about thoughts that are in divine alignment, are high frequency waves. So a person who would, let's say, constantly worry about failure, they send out low frequency charges into the field of potential energy. And this charge gathers matching vibrations, and over time solidifies into the real world failure experiences, because they have put their faith in failure, not in divine love. A person who radiates faith and love and success sends out a high frequency charge that attracts favorable outcomes, aligning their reality with their expectations. So this is why Jesus taught that according to your faith, be it unto you. As Matthew 9:29, because faith charges the unseen energy into visible form. Everything in creation follows the law of cause and effect, also known as electromagnetism, also as Jesus called it, reaping and sowing. What you send out, you receive back. A single thought is like planting a seed. And if the thought is repeated with emotion, it grows roots. And if nurtured through faith and action, it becomes visible in your life experience. And I got to tell you guys this. I know, that seeds are just consciousness knowledge of what they will become, right? You got a little carrot seed in your hand. What is this? How can from that sprout roots and, vegetation and leaves and all the things? Where did it come from? From that teeny little seed? How? What? Where? How? It's because it's consciousness knowledge. And I have to tell you this because I believe in this now, because I witnessed it when I was up in my cabin, and I'm, going through this enlightenment, and I would take walks every day out in the forest. This is northern Canada, totally beautiful up there. And I would walk along this, one same path with my dog, and every day that I'd be walking there, this is like June, which is still chilly up in Canada, especially up there. And I'm imagining here, and I'm actually doing it, like I'm imagining that I am grabbing a handful of seeds, blueberry seeds, because I freaking love the blueberries and I love picking them. And I'm imagining that I'm doing this. I don't have actual seeds in my hand. I have intention in my hand. And I'm imagining that I'm sprinkling these seeds along the path. And in this one particular area, and I would do it every time that I just felt the need to do it as I'm walking through this, one stretch. And I remember, going down to the store later and maybe even telling the guy that worked there, like, man, we are going to have so many blueberries this year. There's going to be so many blueberries this year. Anyways, I leave, and I came back a couple more times that summer. And when I came back, I go to walk along this path, and it is freaking blue. It is blue. Exactly where I had been doing that, which got me to think, you know what, there was no actual seeds that I was sprinkling, and so it actually doesn't matter, because we don't need the actual seeds, because all they are is consciousness knowledge of what it will become. And so I, thought if you were in a situation where you're like, man, I need to plant this garden for whatever it was, and you went along and you had faith and you prayed and you said to the divine, thank you, divine, for planting me this beautiful garden, and you went and you sprinkled intention seeds just like I did, you would grow an actual garden if you had faith without any doubt. 100%, I absolutely believe it and know it, because if you can heal somebody's freaking body from disease or from whatever it is that they, have believed in, and whatever it is that they had, just like that, of course, there's no limits. There's no limits to anything that you could accomplish. So when we think about the law of electromagnetism, it's neutral. It doesn't judge whether a thought is good or bad. It simply gives back whatever you charge it with. If you hold faith in good, good appears. And if you hold fear, doubt, or negativity, these will manifest as well. Many people unknowingly sow seeds of sickness or struggle and hardship by constantly focusing on them. I understand. When you have some type of sickness in your body, it drains and takes away all your energy and focus, right? Because you're focused on this pain. And how many times throughout a day do you think, oh, my pain, oh, I need to manage this, oh, I know people this way. And it becomes all consuming. And what is actually happening is people are unknowingly sowing more seeds of sickness, struggle, hardship, just by focusing on them. The subconscious mind does not distinguish between what you fear and what you desire. It simply brings forth whatever you give energy to. So, withdraw your energy, take it back from the negative thoughts. The moment that a negative thought arises, reject it before it gains power. Certainly don't engage your heart. And you could say, I do not accept this. Only divine order manifests in my life, and then go study and learn about divine order. What does that mean? It means perfect health, perfect nutrition, perfect provision. There is no lack, there is no limitations that is in it. Study it and become so involved in it That when you speak this, I don't accept this, only divine order manifests in my life, that you wholeheartedly believe in it and that you give it your faith. And then charge your energy field with higher frequencies. So as soon as you notice that negative thought, negate it with the words and then charge it with high frequency. So gratitude, love, faith emit high frequency waves that override lower vibrations of fear and doubt. The more that you cultivate joy and peace, the more your energy attracts joy and peace, matching experiences to the frequency that you're sending out. So think and speak only what you wish to see. This includes television. When you watch things on television that you don't want to happen in your own life, you are in the vibration, the frequency of that thing. They know this. This is why it is called television programming. This is a huge factor into why the world has been the way that it has been. The more that you cultivate joy and peace, the more your energy attracts matching experiences. So think and speak only what you wish to see, because every word you speak carries an electromagnetic charge. Ensure that your words and your thoughts align with the reality that you wish to create. So Jesus demonstrated this when he said, "Let the weak say, I am strong." Because what you declare with faith manifests as truth. Let the weak say, I am strong. Think about that for a moment. Your heart, your mind, and your energy field, they're constantly interacting with the universe's energetic fabric, shaping what you experience. If you radiate love, faith, and abundance, the universe will return these gifts multiplied. And if you hold fear, doubt, and struggle in your heart, you will reap experiences of suffering. Your reality is not random. It is the harvest of the seeds that you plant daily. Jesus embodied this truth fully. He lived in absolute faith, unwavering love, and complete alignment with divine energy. And this is why his very presence transformed sickness into health and lack into abundance and despair into hope. And you hold the same power, because he was just a dude. He was a man. How many times did he say, I am the Son of Man? Because he wanted to reinforce that what he could do, you could do. And in fact, he said that, the things that I have done, greater things will you do. Why? Because this dude was all alone. Yeah, he had his 12 disciples, but they didn't even really get it. He realized when they were at the Last Supper, and this is during the Passover time, that they didn't get it, that they were still talking about death and blood and the killing of the babies and all the things. And his heart sank, and he was like, oh man, all this teaching, like they don't get it. They don't understand what I'm saying. And he was so disheartened. So the things that he was able to do, right? He could heal this dude. He could heal that dude. He healed that lady, and he could do these things. He could do these things, but on a small individual scale, because he was really alone in this. So when he said, greater things than I have done will you do, he was talking about us, baby. He's talking about the collective. He's talking about the evolution of consciousness, and he knew that the time is now, that it is coming back, and that we're going to be open to it. We're going to be understanding of it, right? We're not under the heavy hand of the Roman governance anymore. We're not living in this fear. I mean, some people are. They still fear hell and damnation because of something somebody else told them, instead of tuning in and talking to the divine themselves and finding that the only thing that actually exists is love, because they're believing in something. They have a lack of faith in the divine love, which was all that Jesus was talking about. You know, and if you charge the energy of your life with faith in divine goodness, then you will plant only seeds, meaning your thoughts, of health, abundance, and love. And you will reject a belief in lack and suffering and limitation. You are the sower. You are the creator. Your faith is the force that brings the unseen energy into form. So your thoughts, your emotions, and your beliefs are the seeds that you sow. And remember, when you add your heart into it, it makes it 5,000 times more powerful. The energy of the universe, it's like fertile soil. It responds. growing those seeds of thought into visible reality. What you think consistently, you will eventually see and experience, because our world is made of the same energy as our thoughts. Everything in existence, from the air that we breathe to the stars in the sky, is made up of vibrating energy. Science confirms that matter is not only solid, but it's a collection of energy waves and particles that form indivisible shapes. So we have science on our side. Thoughts are also energy. Matter and physical reality are simply slowed down, condensed energy. And so this means that the same energy that forms the world also exists within our minds. And since thought is energy and the world is made of energy, our thoughts directly interact with and shape our reality. Every single thought that you think sends out a frequency into the energetic field of creation. The universe, being made of the same energy, responds by aligning physical conditions with that same frequency. And so over time, your consistent thoughts begin to collapse potential into form, shaping your external world. Every single thing in the universe consists of electromagnetic energy, charged particles that respond to thought and intention. Every single thing. Before an event, a condition, or an experience manifests in the physical world, it exists first in the unformed, dormant state, pure energetic potential. And this energy remains unshaped until a force interacts with it, and that force is human thought. At the beginning of the Bible, when it is saying, God created the heavens and the earth and this, and he spoke this, and it was created, and blah, 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 blah. But then when you read a little bit farther, it says, these things were created, but they did not yet exist. They are telling us the exact process, and it's in the Bible. They're telling us the exact process of creation. They spoke it into existence. But what happens when you speak? Well, first of all, you had to have a thought in your head before, right? So consciousness comes first. Then the spoken word. Now we have created. And it said, well, it doesn't exist right now. I spoke it. It doesn't exist right now, but it is to come. It's already been created, but it wasn't visible yet. This is in Genesis. You can go look it up. Just read through the first couple of chapters there, and it's like, what? Oh, they were telling us. They were telling us. Why was this? Why? And if you go and you read through the Bible, the parables that Jesus wrote will have completely different meaning to you than probably what you have been told by your preachers in the past. And you'll notice, this is one thing I noticed. Why is it that people in the churches, still suffer and get sick? I'll tell you, it is because they are not being told Christ's true message. That's it. End of story. They're not being told Christ's true message, because otherwise there would be no illness or sickness in the church. So thoughts. Your thoughts create electrical impulses in your brain. And these impulses emit electromagnetic waves that go outward. And these waves interact with the unseen particles of reality, attracting or repelling similar frequencies. And because you understand this, I'm going to put this in context with how Jesus was talking about reaping and sowing. A single thought is like planting a seed. And if the thought is repeated with emotion, it grows roots. And if nurtured through faith and action, it becomes a visible experience in your life. So Jesus was saying, what happens? Well, you plant a seed. And then you have to tend to it daily. You have to go and supervise it. And eventually it's going to germinate. It's going to sprout, is going to form into creation, and then at some point it's going to grow. So he didn't have microscopes, and they didn't know what cells were back then. When Jesus became enlightened in the desert and he saw that everything was these tiny little energetic particles, and he could actually see through rocks and see through things, he didn't know about cells back in the day, but this was really what he was seeing, was the energetic particles that were moving through things. Well, however, now we have science that can help us to explain what Jesus was seeing and how he understood that nothing was solid and therefore it can be changed just like that. Just like that. And he saw that when he had doubts that what he was seeing was possible, how it would stop. So he saw how his thought immediately interacted with the environment around him and changed form. And so he knew that a strongly held belief or conviction in something would manifest as reality if he had no doubt that was attached to it. And this is how he went on to go and do his healing work. And what a beautiful gift it has been into this world, because it allows us to escape from the previous cycles of suffering that people were experiencing, because the only reason they were experiencing it was because they were believing in the suffering. They were believing in the lack. They were believing in the physical limitations. They were believing in the illness. They were believing in all of these things they were putting. And when I say believing, I mean they had faith in it. They were putting their belief, they were putting their faith in these things. And you know, the only thing that we need to put our faith in is the divine love, and then it will be the only thing that we will be witness to in our life. And like I said, you know, from the time that you plant a seed, let's say that you planted a seed this morning, well, how long is it going to take for it to sprout? Well, it might take a couple days. How long is it going to take for it to turn into a plant? I don't know. It depends on what it was that you planted. But if you plant the seed and then you think, oh no, you know, this isn't going to happen, or oh, it's not going to happen for me, then it's not going to happen for you. So when you plant that seed, this is the process of holding the faith that of course is going to sprout and grow. I planted it. This is why having the faith is the most important part that you can do, because if you radiate love and faith in abundance, the universe will return these gifts multiplied to you when you have faith in them. And if you are radiating them, you already have faith in them. But if you hold fear or doubt or struggle in your heart, you will reap experiences of suffering. Your reality is not random at all. It is the harvest of the seeds that you plant daily. And Jesus embodied this truth fully. He lived in absolute faith, unwavering love, and complete alignment with divine energy. And this is why his very presence transforms sickness into health and lack into abundance and despair into hope. And you hold this exact same power when you but believe in it. So this is what I have for you guys here today. Thank you all for tuning in so much. Love you very much. Thank you. Please like, share, subscribe. You can even leave a comment. Maybe share this with a friend. Thank you for tuning in here today. And I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.